Welcome. Thank you so much for all your likes and subscribes and support. It really does give me a push to make all these videos to help you. So I'm truly grateful. Today we're going to talk about tools that will greatly help you escape the mind and become more balanced. So the first step is being impeccable with your word. So you always hear me saying, please leave kind comments. You'll understand a bit more. This book, the Five Agreements or Four Agreements, is one of my most favourite books. It changed my life so much as I was going through my journey. So everything carries a vibration. Words, colours, objects, sounds. The universe is a meld of frequency. So, spitting poison, as I call it, being unkind to others, carries a frequency. And this frequency does so much damage to our world and to our being. Now, this experiment you can do at home that I'm going to tell you about and shows this clearly. So, if you take two sterilized jars, fill both with cooled boiled white rice, seal them, and label one with hate and one with love. Put them in different parts of your house and visit each one each day, either saying, I love you or I hate you. Now you can clearly hear the vibration of the sound of the words. They're very different. So if you do this every day for about 11 days, you will see that the jar with hate written on it will become black and mildew, and the one with love will stay pristine and white. It's an extraordinary experiment, and you may have seen it on YouTube. Now, imagine this is either your body or people that you're being unkind to. Are you filling yourself with mildew and black toxic energy? Or are you keeping yourself pristine and white, clean, that you've heard me talk about before? So this exercise really makes you think about what you say, not only to yourself, but to others. And this creates much to be cleaned. So try and be aware of self-talk, as the same here, and what you say to others. So let me show you a little technique. If you're feeling lonely or worthless, especially old souls, cross your hands over your chest, over your heart chakra area. Just close your eyes and bring yourself into balance. And tell yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. As many times a day as required. Now, this fills you with a pure, loving vibration and will help bring you back into balance. Now, another good visualization, I love visualizations, I'm very conceptual and creative, is to be aware of think. So you might want to write this in your journal if you're following my lessons and you're doing this beautiful work. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, my heart chakra's going mad. I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? K, is it kind? Now, if what you say doesn't tick all of these boxes, don't say anything at all. You can't undo what you've put out into the universe. So make what you say count and be very vigilant that you are complying to all of these steps, not only to others, but to yourself as well. And even what you're thinking carries a vibration as well. Now, gossiping is another form of spitting poison. When you gossip, you are, you might not be aware, but it will come back and it will come back and haunt you, bite you in the bum, and your mind will take over, making you feel more anxious. So don't gossip. A really good thing, an exercise to practice here is sit in a coffee shop or go for a walk in the park, and listen. Be very acutely aware of conversations from others, and you will realize that so much negative talk and gossiping is part of the third dimensional world, people that are still sleeping. Just imagine that all of this horrible energy is polluting your body and our world. Very important step. Equally, this is why affirmations are so important. A positive vibration through positive speech supports the words and is heard by your body. Your cells are listening to you. So, for example, I'm useless, or I can't handle it, or any of the negative self talk that many of us go through, I'm no exception, I've been through this, isn't going to help the body or the mind. You're going to feel useless or not worthy, or whatever you're telling yourself. Keep affirmations kind and positive. After all, you're talking to yourself. Talking to yourself is talking to the quantum field. You are filling the collective consciousness with negativity. I am is a very good way to start any affirmations, but change them up. The body doesn't want to keep hearing the same old thing over and over again, unless you find one that really that you really like, that really helps you. I can't overestimate the power of words to keep the body clean, to keep you out of the mind, and to make you feel better. The second step is taking things personally. Now, when you start to escape the matrix third dimension, this tool helps you remain in a higher vibration. If you don't allow anything to touch the essence of who you really are, and you kind of shrug it off like water off a duck's back, you remain clean. So don't be triggered. Answer with kindness, which has much more effect than being mean back. This is spiritual maturity. It takes practice. If you allow yourself to absorb negative comments, the mind will get involved again. How you will kind of say, "How dare you say that to me?" Blah, blah, blah. You're back in the head, and you will probably spend the whole day plotting revenge, and this will drag you straight back to third dimension. Now, you can surround yourself with a bubble. You create this with your mind to protect you. And if you do this, the words will bounce back at the person that is being unkind to you, and will hit them to teach them a lesson. So all of this beautiful work, even without telling anyone anything, is helping others. So this is, it's not being unkind. We're all here to support each other. Now, this has happened to me many times before when other people have been unkind to me. I've protected my aura, and you can physically see them being hit by their own words, kind of like going like this. They don't know why it's happening, but they feel it. So when leaving comments below, please be kind. It's keeping my channel nice and clean and raising the vibration to support everyone. So Although I'm highly trained and I'm well past the point of taking things personally, it isn't nice and it's not how we should behave, especially in a spiritual community like this. So be mindful. Making assumptions. So this one is huge. You cannot know what somebody else is thinking. Full stop. Well, not yet anyway. Eventually, we will be telepathic and there will be no hiding anything. See why you've got to be clean? Let me give you an example so you can see this in action. Let's say you're out in a bar or out somewhere and you meet somebody that you really like. You swap your numbers and you arrange that you're going to speak to them tomorrow at 6 p.m., let's say. Tomorrow comes, you're at home, waiting, excited, phone to the ready, and ready to chat. 8 p.m. comes, no call. 9 p.m. comes and goes, by which point you are already imagining that's with somebody else, they're not good enough for you, and you're back in the mind. How dare they not call you? You are now dragging yourself back to third dimension and you are consumed by the mind. So let's say by 11 o'clock, you've convinced yourself to block them. You're in rage. You're stimulating lower emotions. And you're going to go to bed feeling sad and possibly abandoned. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Now, what actually happened is they were going to call you, but they got called into a late meeting. And by the time they were finished, it was so late and they didn't want to disturb you because they really liked you and thought they would call you the next day. But when they did, you blocked them and you'd spoiled any chance of building this new friendship. See what happens? Just let it be. Whatever is supposed to find you will. Believe, trust that the universe has your back. Now, doing your best. This one comes easily to me. I love to do my best. We all take on far too much. The best way to tackle this one is to cut down on what you have to do. Do what you enjoy and do it well. This way you go to bed feeling that you've done a really good job. Again, you're staying out of the head. Your mental health is more important than a ton of emails or tasks that you don't like doing. And if your employer can't see this, leave and get a better job and work for somebody that does appreciate the care that you take in preparing work for your employer. So the fifth agreement, if you buy the book 4 Agreements, this one won't be in there. I recommend that you buy the book The 5 Agreements, which has all of these in, and it's a life-changing book. I would highly recommend that you purchase this and read it. It really does help with this step. So this is about listening. Now, ego makes you kind of act like, look at me. And when you become this, you never learn anything. Be the one who listens. You will be far more respected than the peacock dancing around the room saying, look at me. And the mysterious ones are always the ones that people want to talk to. Empty words are just a waste of valuable energy. So try and train yourself to be more of a listener. And if you're going into a profession, which I hope many of you will, where you will be supporting people in this new world, it's really important that you master the skill of listening to people and answering questions as they ask you, not being a spinner. So while we are here, let's talk about drinking and drugs. Now, many display another side of themselves when they're drunk or on drugs, and it's mainly not a pretty sight. So not only will you feel terrible the next day, be back in third dimension, back in the loop of repeat, but the chances are that you're going to be back in the head again. You see how all of these are preventing you from allowing the ego, the mind, to be in control. And you'll probably be thinking, I'm so embarrassed. How could I do that? I've lost my bag. I've spent a fortune. What is everyone going to say? Again, you're back in your head. So everything in moderation is fine. If it doesn't display a dark side of your character that you would prefer others didn't see, but if you don't like yourself in this state, neither will others. And it would be better not to drink. So I gave up drinking years ago. Not only does it save me loads of money, I never have a hangover, I keep my vibration high, I am in control of who I am and how I portray myself to others. I like to display the best part of who I am. This might give you a little bit of a inspiration in your New Year's resolutions to give it a go, at least for a month or something, to see whether you enjoy life without drinking. So drinking and drugs and any other kind of obsessive behavior is just a mask for a deeper issue. Much better to do this beautiful work, identify what is buried deep inside, identify it, surrender, accept it, surrender, and just let it go. Lesson 5 of my program, which is all about forgiveness, gives you some beautiful techniques of how to do this. So remember, you can't ascend to the 5th dimension with buried trauma lurking inside your beautiful body. If you master these steps and use them every day in your daily life, you will feel a huge shift in your mental well-being. The mind just can't get involved. And the book that I recommend is The 5 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. And as I said, it's one of my favourite books and is absolutely life-changing. So that's pretty much it for it today. If you have any questions, I'm always here to help. Equally, if you would like me to make videos on specific topics, let me know. I've got 50,000 hours worth of knowledge in here, and it's not always apparent what people want to hear about. So I'm very happy to take your comments, add it onto my list of videos that I'm making so that I can be more targeted and specific to what you want. So I wish you a magnificent day. Be mindful of all of these new tools that you're learning and let me know how they're changing your life. So until the next one, I wish you love and light.